Good evening, Iowa Democrats. My name is Zach Wahls, and in 2027, Joni Ernst will no longer be a member of the United States Senate. Some of you may remember 15 years ago, I was not a two-term state senator. I was a scared teenager, standing in front of the Iowa legislature, defending my family from politicians who wanted to divide our state because of the marriage of my two moms. And I told them something that I learned from my parents. The sense of family comes from the commitment that we make to each other, to work through the hard times so we can enjoy the good ones. It comes from the love that binds us. That is what makes a family. Thank you. Those words changed my life. They are how I met the love of my life, Chloe. And last year, Chloe had them printed off, and they now hang in the nursery of our 19-month-old son, Elijah. But there's a part of my story I didn't talk about in that speech. When I was defending my family from those politicians, my family was fighting for our survival. My mother, Terry, has multiple sclerosis, and my mom, Jackie, a union nurse, was laid off during the Great Recession. If it had not been for Jackie's union contract, we would have been overwhelmed by medical bills. And now, as a new dad, I appreciate the sacrifices that my parents made for me and my sister more than I ever knew was possible. I learned at too young of an age what it feels like when bad things happen to good people, and what happens when hard-working Iowans are forgotten or failed by a government that is supposed to work for us. And that is exactly the problem that is facing our state right now. We have factories closing, like the Case New Holland plant in Burlington, tariffs that are exploding costs in big cities and small towns alike, a cancer crisis that is directly linked to our water crisis, more than $1 trillion of cuts to Medicaid and to SNAP, and we all feel the squeeze, whether we are at the grocery store or the doctor's office or the pharmacy or the nursing home or the daycare center where my son's childcare costs almost as much as our mortgage, and we have just one kid. We need an economy that works for us, and that's why I'm running for the United States Senate. Because the billionaires and the big corporations are doing better than ever because they have corrupt politicians like Ashley Hinson who cares more about lobbyists and their cash than she does about hard-working, struggling Iowa families, and that is exactly why we need to enact common-sense term limits and ban politicians from trading stocks and overturn Citizens United. Our campaign to fix this rigged economy and to fight this corruption is resonating across our state. I am honored to be the only candidate in this race endorsed by local labor unions across Iowa and to win endorsements not just from Democratic leaders but also independents and even some Republicans. Because some fights, including this one, are not just about left versus right, they are about right versus wrong. And some of the toughest fights are about the future of our own party. I will never hesitate to challenge Democratic leaders like Chuck Schumer, who said that we should write off blue-collar voters and rural America. He was wrong, but we are the ones paying the price, and that is exactly why Iowa needs a senator who doesn't work for Chuck Schumer or for Donald Trump or the billionaires. We need a senator who works for us. "15 years ago, I stood in front of the legislature and defended my family and asked them to recognize the commitment that our family made to each other. Tonight, I'm asking for your commitment to my campaign for Senate. Because Republicans have already coronated Ashley Hinson. I know that I can defeat her. She knows it too, and that is why she is attacking me by name. I am asking you, join our campaign tonight. We cannot wait to get to work. Because when you organize your county, when you talk to your neighbors, when you refuse to let big money and powerful insiders have the last word, that is how we win, because there are more of us than there are of them. Join our fight. Thank you all so much.